Hey Roadrunners, I hope everyone's doing great today. I'm recording this on Friday of our snow virtual week. So these are a couple of books that I have read over this week that I wanted to share with you that I thought you might enjoy. The first book that I want to share with you is this one. It's called When You Trap a Tiger, and it is by Tay Keller. This is the 2021 Newbery Book Award winner. So that's kind of like the most group of librarians and people who work with children thought it was the best book published in children's literature last year. So this is an award-winning book. It's called When You Catch a Tiger. In this book, we meet Lily, who's going into 6th grade, and she and her mom and her sister Sam moved to Washington State to live with their halmoni, and their halmoni is their grandmother. Sam and Lily and their mom and their halmoni are Korean, and so they go to live with their halmoni in Washington State. And one of the things that I really love the most about this story is just how descriptive the setting is. So their halmoni lives in this house on a hill where you have to walk up all of these steps to get up to it, and it's just cluttered but also homey, and it has a basement, and that is where Lily, the main character, plans to catch this tiger. Halmoni in this story is a storyteller, and she tells Lily and Sam stories their entire lives, and she always kinds of warns them about these tigers that will come to get them. And in the story, they're a real tiger, but kind of they symbolize just hard times in life coming after you. And Halmoni had those. Her mom left her in Korea when she was a baby, and when Halmoni came to America, she came to find her mom. And so that's kind of a tiger that she had to fight. And right now, Sam and Lily are fighting a tiger, and their mom is fighting a tiger too, because they have a couple of things that have happened. Their dad has passed away in a car wreck a few years ago, and Halmoni is not doing well physically. And Lily believes that if she can catch these tigers, then she can heal her halmoni. And the tiger tells her that if you will give me these stories, then I can help you make your halmoni better. And so Lily hatches a plan to catch these tigers. And she does that with the help of a new friend that she makes named Ricky, that she meets across the street. Again, that setting of the story. The library's right across the street from Halmoni's house. She meets Ricky, and Ricky's being tutored in the library by a girl named Jensen, because Ricky kind of fell behind the previous year in school because his mom left his family, and she left him, and he just had other things in his mind. So he kind of fell behind. And so that's where she makes her first friend. So Ricky decides that he can help her because his grandparents were tiger hunters. And so they set out to trap these tigers, and Lily does this by tempting them with the stories that she knows. She says that she will give them the stories. This story integrates a lot of Korean folk tales, and it's not always a happy story, but it's a satisfying story. So if you like family stories and you like people who kind of face real life challenges, then this would be a good story for you. It's called When You Trap a Tiger. The second book that I wanted to tell you about is one that I just finished last night that I've seen for a while in the library, and I wanted to read it. And it's called On the Horizon, and it's by Lois Lowry. This is a memoir of Lois Lowry's life, in a way, because it kind of starts in Hawaii right before the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, because Lois Lowry lived there as a young girl. And what started this story, you find out, is that she is looking at some old film that her dad took of them at the beach one day, and her friend of hers tells her to stop, and they see the USS Arizona sailing across the ocean in the background. The cool and sad thing about that is the USS Arizona is one of the ships that was sunk at Pearl Harbor, and it had very few, if any, survivors. And there's a memorial to that ship in Pearl Harbor today. So you kind of see what happened to Lois Lowry in Hawaii. You see the stories of real life soldiers who were on the ships, brothers, fathers and sons. And you see what happens to people who are at Pearl Harbor. And then it goes to the end of World War II, when the United States bombed Hiroshima to end World War II. And that bomb was the deadliest bomb ever dropped on any city in the world. And as soon as the people dropped the bomb, one of the stories that you read in the book is that when everyone on the plane was silent after they did it, because the thought that they had is, what have we done? Because they changed the world forever by dropping that bomb on Hiroshima. And so you hear stories of people who kind of dropped bombs on Hiroshima, but you also hear stories of people who survived in Hiroshima and what their lives were like. And then you even see kind of Lois Lowry's life today. A cool thread in this story is that Lois Lowry, as a teenager, moves to Japan because her father is stationed in Japan after World War II. And she has a green bike, and she rides her bike all around. One day she goes to a school, and she's kind of just like standing outside the schoolyard looking, I think kind of wanting friends, but not really being able to make any because she doesn't speak the language. And then flash forward like 30 or 40 years, and she meets an author and illustrator named Alan Say, who's very notable, and they're talking about Japan, and he tells the story of a girl on a green bike stopping outside of his school, and they figure out that it was her. So this is a really good memoir about like things that happened in World War II. So if you like history and you like learning about World War II and what life was like, if you're interested in Pearl Harbor or atomic bombs and like what the consequences of those things are, you should check out this book called On the Horizon by Lois Lowry. And another thing that I always tell everyone is that what I like about this book is that it's written in free verse poetry. So the text is really sparse. Okay, so it's a really quick, easy read. And as you can see, like every page is paired with a picture. So that was called On the Horizon. It's by Lois Lowry, who is a Newbery Award-winning author. This book didn't win the Newbery Award, but she's a Newbery Award-winning author. And When You Catch a Tiger. I think you all will like both of these books. They really had me thinking. I hope you all have a great day. Keep reading, Roadrunner.